Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this new podcast show from Leonardo Bellini, LinkedIn for Business. Today we have an international interview with Olga Bondareva and Ekaterina. So nice to meet you, Olga and Ekaterina.
Nice to meet
You
you.
are
Nice to meet you too, Leonardo.
co-founder and marketing manager of ModumUp. And so I would like to ask you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I will start. As you mentioned, I'm Olga Bondareva, founder at ModumUp. And here at ModumUp, I'm responsible for everything, I guess, because I'm a founder, but mostly for sales and marketing activities and business processes. And before my own business, actually, I'm running it for 4 years already, almost 5. Before that, I was a social media manager for Microsoft for Central and Eastern Europe region. And there I first found out how social selling works, how to work with personal profiles. And after that, I started my own business.
Okay. So many things in a very young girl. Okay. Ekaterina, what about you?
Yeah, hello everyone again. It's great to be here, and thank you, Leonardo, for the invitation. My name is Ekaterina Altbregina, and I'm the marketing director at ModumUp Social Selling Agency. I've been with the company since its establishment for 4 years now. Before that, I worked as a marketing and event manager in the education field. I began developing my personal brand. Then Olga implemented an employee advocacy program in our team. She invited all employees to develop their personal profiles on social media and taught us how to do this. So this program helped me not only develop my profile, but also create new ideas for developing our clients' profiles. Because social media is constantly changing, it's important to be a practitioner and test new things and hypotheses all the time to stay useful for our clients. And I think that's all.
Yeah, and Kate is very, very active on LinkedIn right now. She's recording videos, posting.
Yeah, I have seen one video a day. Caterina,
such a discipline.
Challenge.
Yeah, very disciplined. So you have already said a lot. So also about my following question, I would like to know something about personal from you, something personal, a personal story. When and why did you fall in love with social selling, LinkedIn, maybe B2B and so on? Olga?
Yeah, I will start. Actually, I have a psychological degree. And when I was studying psychology, I created the social media group for psychologists with psychological memes, like with very funny jokes, with some funny discussions around psychology and stereotypes about psychologists. And this is how I started working with social media. It was actually 11 years ago, almost 12. This was my first touch with social media, and then I liked it very much, and I considered it as my hobby, and I wanted to become a psychologist. And I used to work as a psychologist, but I found out that social media field is more interesting for me, and I can make more money here, and I can make more interesting projects here. And this is how I started developing my social media skills, my knowledge, and I started working at small companies and then at Microsoft. And now I decided to focus not just on social media in general, but on social selling, because I believe that personal profiles, they give you more opportunities to reach out to some interesting people, and they reply, and something useful for both sides happen. It makes more sense than just, for example, post on company's profile.
Okay, great. Thank you, Olga. And what about you, Katerina? some personal story about your relationship with this social selling LinkedIn world?
Yeah, I first learned about LinkedIn and social selling from Olga during a job interview at her agency. And to be honest, LinkedIn was a big motivator for me to improve my English, since it's not my first language. But I realized that LinkedIn also provides great career opportunities by allowing you to connect with professionals from different countries without any barriers. And I view LinkedIn as a valuable source of information and knowledge. There are so many talented marketing and sales experts, as well as entrepreneurs, sharing their experience and insights on the platform. So if you realize how fortunate we are to have access to this kind of information for free, you will appreciate and love LinkedIn even more.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wanted to add a bit about Kate, that Ekaterina is our active LinkedIn user, and she always attracts wonderful professionals, for example, to speak at our webinars or conferences. And she builds a lot of international relationships with bright and interesting experts, consultants, and some companies experts. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, thank you, Olga.
So,
You.
Olga, identify Ekaterina with the one adjective. Maybe you already have said that. How could you, classify on the, which is the most representative adjective on the word to represent Ekaterina, and vice versa?
It's difficult to choose one word because Ekaterina is very proactive. I would say the best word is proactive. Yeah, proactive. Okay. And responsible will be the second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ekaterina, about Olga, how would you adjective her?
No, it will be not only one adjective. I would say expert, reliable, and open-minded, because Olga always open to everything new ideas from employees, and I really appreciate it. It's really cool for entrepreneur.
Okay. So as you know, actually, I discovered ModumUp, I think last summer when I going through YouTube. I discovered the social selling conference videos with some interviews with well-known experts such as Timothy Hughes, Jamie Shanks, and so on. And I started following ModumUp. So I would like to ask you, how would you able to organize such as conference with such many experts? I don't know who is the word of it. Maybe Ekaterina.
I can start. Yeah.
And also, I have followed you about your organization of events on LinkedIn, very successful ones with many attendance.
Thank you.
Maybe it's one, I think, of one of your, best recipes or secrets about ModumUp, maybe, let's say, positioning or distinctive element. So I would like to ask you something about these events and in general about, let's say, ModumUp offering and the positioning.
Yeah, I'd like to start from speaking about our social selling conference, and thank you for this question. It was very interesting, and to be honest, we first decided to organize this conference. It was an experiment. I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but I knew I wanted to expand the reach of our agency and create new international connections. So we decided to use LinkedIn as a way to get the word out and organize the event from start to finish. And we also made the conference free for attendees because our goal wasn't to make a profit, but rather to increase our brand awareness and connect with other professionals in the industry. Our main focus was to provide valuable content for participants. So I reached out to some of the top social selling influencers on LinkedIn, and was fortunate to have Jamie Shanks, Timothy Hughes, Marcus Chen, Scott Clary, Pierre Perrone, and Steve Carroll agreed to speak at our first conference in 2021. And we truly appreciate their support and belief in us as social selling experts and organizers, even though it was our first conference.
Yeah.
And of course, a big thank you to all other experts who have spoken at our second social selling conference and our webinars on social selling and personal branding.
Olga, would you like to add something about that?
Yeah, I would like to add some tips and tricks about how we track the audience. Actually, first, when we started, we organized the conference with the registration on our website, and after that, we created a specific Zoom, like it was called Zoom webinar or something like this different format of Zoom meetings, and we conducted it in Zoom, but then we decided to change the format of the conference, and we streamed it. After that, we started streaming it to LinkedIn directly using LinkedIn events, and it really boosted the number of participants. It boosted the number of views, and it became more easy to attract new participants, because, for example, using LinkedIn events, we create an event and we can invite 1,000 people a week. For example, I can invite 1,000 people from my network. Kate can do it from her social LinkedIn connections. And for example, some of our other team members can also do it. And this is how we can invite up to 10,000 people to the conference. And our last webinar, for example, we invited about 10,000 people, and 2,000 people, they decided to register, because it's very simple to register on LinkedIn. You need just to, it's automatically filled, and you need just to click I'm registered, and that's it. And we had about
how could you I mean, which criteria did you use to select the attendees to invite to the event?
Our audience, our core audience, our ideal customer profile is marketing and sales directors and business development directors from large and medium companies. But of course, we think that if we invite smaller companies, it also a benefit for us, because this is word of mouth that we are experts, and if we give them some valuable information, it's good for our awareness, it's good for our reputation. This is why we decided, of course, we focus on larger companies, but we decided to invite all of the sizes of the companies. But also we have industry priorities, because, for example, we have a lot of case studies with IT segment, with financial companies, with logistics companies, and digital. So we try to invite them. But of course, when it's LinkedIn Live, it goes viral. And for example, when people agree to register, their connections, they can see it. And they can also come. So we cannot control who registers to the event. Of course, we have our priorities, and we try to invite the right people for us. But of course, some people can be just maybe not our target audience, but anyway, if they find it valuable and interesting, we are happy about it, of course.
How long does it take to plan a LinkedIn event like that? How many weeks ahead do you start sending invitations once the event has been built?
The process is the following. First, we agree on the concept of the event, on the topic, maybe preliminary agree on the speakers of the event. And after that, when we have the topic and we have speakers, we need at least 1 month before the event.
Okay.
Yeah, to start inviting people. In this case, we get more registrations, and people will join.
Okay. Oh, it's very, very interesting and very, very, I mean, amazing from you to get this such audience and such, I mean, very interesting events full of very good experts and many contents. In one of the last events, you spoke about LinkedIn trends for this year. So, Ekaterina or Olga, which are, in your opinion, the best trends or the best, I mean, new features to follow for this year?
Yeah, I will start, and Kate, maybe you will add something. That I think that the feature I mentioned, LinkedIn events, and LinkedIn Live is the best feature for marketers, at least, because if, for example, we are talking about some webinars or online events, it helps you to reach out to much more people comparing to the classic way when we have a landing page, we have some traffic, people register, then you move them to some platform and they watch the event there. So yeah, it's changed things. And this is why I think it's important, at least for marketers.
Yeah.
Kate?
So the effective usage of LinkedIn events is a killer application for marketers. Okay, I agree with you. And Ekaterina, which are, in your opinion, the most interesting trends on LinkedIn, for instance, about content connecting or maybe social selling itself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my favorite features which we have which we got from last year is automatically generated subtitles, because I prepare a lot of videos for myself and for our clients, and it really makes my life easier, because I have this option to automatically generate subtitles for all videos. And also I like the ability to schedule posts, because I have a free time in evening, and I can prepare texts and schedule it for morning time.
And speaking about some typical, I mean, actions or elements of social selling process, how would you highlight, in your opinion, the most critical aspects? Let's say identify our ideal client profile. Let's say, for instance, to find the best way to engage him or her, or let's say create relevant content to gain trust and credibility. Which are some of the ingredients of your optimal recipe, speaking about social selling process? Olga, which are, in your opinion, or maybe some mistakes to avoid, or some best practices to follow?
Actually, on LinkedIn, we balance between, more proactive approach when we use which is called LinkedIn outreach, when we send messages and talk to people directly about our business goals, for example, and offering them something, and between long-term process of building personal brands, systematical work, building relationships with the clients. And usually what we recommend to do is combining these two practices, because on the one hand, our audience, they usually don't like wasting their time, and they are not ready for long networking conversations in personal messages, and they would like you to be direct and go just straight to the point, right? Because not to waste their time. If they are interested, you can continue talking to them. If they are not, they just become our followers, and they read posts and we interact with them, etc. So if and this works if you have a goal to generate new leads in a quite fast way. But if your goal is to build relationships and maybe get more warmer leads, get more qualified leads, but a bit later. In this case, yeah, the most important thing is to build your profile, to create content, comments, some people, and actually Ekaterina has her own method how to build this network using influencers profiles. Kate, maybe you will share.
Yeah. Thank you, Olga. I understand that it's not enough just regularly posting content on LinkedIn, and it's very important to engage with the posts of other influencers who share content on a similar topic, because they are already collected in their profiles, maybe your potential clients and partners. And if you comment on their post, you show your expertise, you add something useful to their idea in their post, people will notice you, they will open your LinkedIn profile and they will follow you. And maybe after some time, they will come to your in your direct messages and will ask you about potential collaboration. So yeah, it's very important to engage with content of other LinkedIn creators as potential clients and partners and other influencers, and you will see a positive result. I'm absolutely sure in it, because I had tested this idea for 2 weeks, and I generated 100 followers just during these 2 weeks by commenting on the posts. Yeah, so it works.
Maybe Olga would like to add something.
Yeah, I just first I wanted to ask Kate to share her own experience about 100 new followers, but she already mentioned it. Yeah, I would like to add, I think that today it's important to add this, that ChatGPT can help you with this activity of commenting people, because for example, of course, ChatGPT, it's a lot of hype around this new technology, but it really helps, because you can, for example, give it a command to please create a comment for this post. You can copy the text of the post and put it to ChatGPT, and it creates a comment. Of course, this comment will be not so deep comparing to the comments you can create on your own, but it can give you some ideas where to look at, and it really helps. It saves some time, and it makes the process of commenting faster. This is why I recommend just to use it for help, not for
also maybe Olga, you wrote a post about how to use artificial intelligence and chat GPT tools in a few last week, maybe some days ago, and there is a huge debate, a huge debate about how to use chat GPT and in general artificial intelligence tools. Some of them are very skeptics or maybe against this practice. Other are maybe tech innovators or maybe early adopters. And I just also to make some experiments. I have never used Chat GPT to create comments, even if I have already seen that there are some tools, maybe engine AI and so on, that are, suitable for that. So you suggest to use ChatGPT to create save time for commenting, Olga, if I have well understood you.
Yeah, for comment ideas, because sometimes you just look at the post and you don't know what to say, with ChatGPT you can get some first ideas and then you can add some.
A very good advice. So I invite also who is going to listen to this podcast show to find out this practice and to exercise and practice about that. I would like to come back to Ekaterina because in your commenting strategy, one of the objections is, or one of the best questions about how to split your time in different activities when you are on LinkedIn, just to maximize your time, your energies on LinkedIn. So according to your experience, which is there any kind of recipe, the best recipe to split your energy about content into commenting, curating, or creating a new post?
Yeah, I'd like to share that I prepare content during my weekend because I have enough time for thinking about what I want to share with my audience, and I want to create useful content, not just for posting regularly, you know.
Yeah.
And during the work days, I only comment on the posts of other creators, and it is about 30 minutes per day, and I think it's enough for people who are not specialists in social selling, and they just want to build their personal brand to attract attention to their expertise. So I think it's enough for comments on the post.
So 30 minutes per day just for commenting.
Yeah.
How do you select the post to comment on?
Yeah, you know, I found several influencers who regularly post interesting content, and I'm sure that I can create some ideas on how can I add their posts in my comment, and I follow them, and I get notifications about their new posts, so I don't scroll my LinkedIn feed. I just open my
You start watching your notifications.
Yeah, because it is faster than scrolling.
I agree with you. Absolutely. And okay. And you then plan your editorial content on the weekends, and then you use a scheduling tool to plan them.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And on Monday, usually I send connection requests via LinkedIn Sales Navigator, because there are many useful filters which helps me to find people who are suited to our ideal customer profile. So I send all the limit of connection requests per week on Monday, and and I don't spend time on it during the week.
Okay. So just you concentrate only one day per week, the sending question actions.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. And about social selling process, Olga, how do you manage the nurturing of the leads, the relationship building process, using content, using social triggers, using some others, a combination of actions to create and build up your social selling cadence and so on?
Yeah, for our clients and for us too, we structure social selling to 5 steps. First step is positioning on social media and profile design, because first we identify what kind of positioning will be for the certain person. Will it be an expert in some topics, or maybe a visionary, or maybe someone else in some personal topics too. This is the beginning. And based on that, we design the social media profile, because the profile shouldn't be just formal and based on your position and company. It should include some personal information too, because these profiles, they build trust. And if we don't include something personal, this profile can look like a bot on LinkedIn, automated account. It's boring, and people don't trust these kind of profiles. The second step is actually, after that, we do 2 things in parallel. First is target audience growth. This is what Ekaterina mentioned, that, for example, using LinkedIn Sales Navigator or some external lists, we find the target audience, or sometimes it's not just ideal customer profile. Sometimes it can be potential partners or potential engagers, people who will support the content, will like and comment on the post. And we add this audience to the profile, and in parallel we prepare regular content. Usually this content, of course, if we prepare it for us, we build it on our personal experience, because theoretical content is boring. No one likes it, and if you need something theoretical, you can just Google it, right? And from the personal profile, people expect something unique, something personal from their experience. This is why we try to, for example, when I create content for myself, I try to find something from the questions my clients ask to me, or potential clients ask, or some situations which happen at our agency, or our case studies, or something else. And this is the most valuable content, because this is unique. You cannot find it anywhere. This is just our experience. And when we work with our clients, we do the same, because we base our content on the interviews with clients, and we ask some questions about their experience, what happened, maybe how they work with their employees, what happens with their projects with their clients, etc. So this is how we just create some stories based on real facts and real life. And this content is much more interesting than, I don't know, reposting some others articles or something else. Then the next step is interactions with the audience. This is what Kate was talking about: commenting, liking, maybe even endorsing skills of the audience, because of course it's a tricky thing, because when we don't know people, how can we endorse their skills? We haven't worked with them yet, and we don't know. But sometimes we use it because it's not something what happens very often when someone endorses your skills, and sometimes we use it to remind about ourselves, to maybe feel that
as a follow-up
as a follow-up, or for the first contact, to make it warmer, and it works. So sometimes we recommend to use it to try endorsing skills, and people, they usually reply and say thank you. This is why it works.
It's an unexpected action, or a random act of kindness.
Okay. This is true. And then depending on your goals, some of our clients, most actually of our clients, they want leads. They want B2B leads more and more. So for them, we recommend to go to personal messages, because we believe that on LinkedIn, it's okay. It's a normal LinkedIn behavior to talk to each other in personal messages. So you can reach out to your audience, ask whether what you are doing is relevant to them or not, and this is how you can get some meaningful conversations and continue them on the calls or meetings. And it works. But some of our clients, they would like just to build their network and build relationships for the future, right? For maybe they will collaborate somehow in the future with their audience. For them, we also recommend to go to personal messages because it's still the most important channel on LinkedIn. But with the software message, like for example, networking message, where they introduce themselves and ask the person they are talking to introduce themselves to. And after that, something happens. Sometimes they agree on partnerships. Sometimes they just have this conversation and can come back to it in the future when they need something. Yeah, but it's useful to have these personal connections with your audience, not
You
just
can
broadcast content.
Yeah, I just like to add that you don't ask people to introduce themselves because it requires some time, but you can ask, for example, what is their goals for 2023, and it will help you to start this conversation with people, and it will be networking, but not about selling something. Yeah, and also you can share some useful gated content if you have something that could be interested and relevant for these people, or invite them to your LinkedIn Live. It also works.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. How long does it take in general to follow this process, Olga? Of course, in general, because it depends on the initial situation, startup. If a person has no network or no visibility on LinkedIn, maybe you first have to, invest time in creating a personal profile to develop a network and so on. But in a normal situation, if you catch up a manager who asks you to start generated qualified leads on LinkedIn using social selling, how long, could you expect to start and see the first results?
Yeah, let's look at 4 periods: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and a year. If we work for 1 month, during this period, sales manager, for example, who uses LinkedIn very actively, they can get some leads, but they will be cold leads, of course. People who are just interested, maybe a bit, and they agree to have calls. So you can generate some calls, but the conversion from call to deal, for example, will be very low because this is a very cold lead, and you need to build relationships before they convert. If we are talking about 3 months process, during 3 months, people start remembering who you are, and they have this association that you are an expert in the topic, or you are a visionary in the topic, or someone else. And they can already come to you, and we can have some for example, inbound leads. People who come to you and ask questions and wants to maybe to learn more about your services. But this is just the beginning of inbound leads. If we work for 6 months, of course, we get much more inbound leads and inbound partners, inbound suggestions, for example, to speak at the conference, or maybe from some journalists to give a comment to media or something else. So you get a lot of inbound requests if you work with your profile systematically for 6 months. And of course, if you do proactive lead generation, for example, sending messages to people, you also get leads. And if we are talking about 1 year, these people are champions who work systematically for a year. And of course, their profile starts working on them on a regular basis. They usually get some new opportunities, they get some new requests, questions, etc. but of course, they also can proactively reach out to people, and they have higher conversion because people, their audience already knows them and already trusts them. They are following these people for a long time. So this is why, yeah, the longer you work with your profile, the longer you develop your profile, the better results you get.
Yeah, so it's not a sprint, but it's a long-term endurance race. So
yeah,
you have to
absolutely.
be resilient and I mean, let's say systematic and consistent, sure. And we are about to finish our conversation. So I would like to ask you, both of you, the missing question. One thing I haven't asked you, but you have liked to that I have asked you. So something different, maybe a lateral question. Could be something about how do you see the evolution of LinkedIn social selling? Maybe in new context where we speak about metaverso, that we speak about augmented reality and so on. Or this is the last question. And then I'll finish up asking you which are your next programs about ModumUp events, for instance, so we can anticipate maybe your next webinar or event.
Olga, I suggest to talk brief about trends on LinkedIn. Yeah,
start, and then I will talk about my view on the trends.
Yeah, I've noticed 3 trends, and the first one is the increasing number of published video and audio content on the platform. And we have LinkedIn Live also, and Creator Mode, and we can now hold audio events. So also I noticed more voice messages in my direct messages. So I think the next year will be more about video content on LinkedIn. And the second trend is about implementation of some email marketing features, because we already can see 2 folders in our messages, focused and others. And in the others folder, we may find messages that look like spam. So it's important to be extra careful when crafting messages for your potential clients. And the third trend is LinkedIn efforts to implement automation to make using the platform easier. And as I said before, about features like automatically generated subtitles and ability to schedule posts as example of automation. So I think that we can see more automation on the platform.
Okay, very interesting, Ekaterina. Very insightful. Olga, what about your evolution, vision of LinkedIn trends and, I mean, future?
Yeah, I would like to add some less positive things. For example, about the external automation tools, LinkedIn makes it much more stricter and limits the actions of automation tools.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's a lot of spam, a lot of like automated actions. So yeah, probably it will be stricter and stricter the next years. Yeah, and the second thing is about GDPR. As we can see already, and we believe it will progress in the future, LinkedIn looks at the data privacy, and they implement some new features regarding data privacy to protect data, to protect some contact information. So maybe it will be more closed. It will be more difficult to find some contacts, and it will be more difficult to reach out to people without their approval. So yeah, but I think this is great, because social selling should be smart, and it shouldn't be spammy. So it's a good thing. And I would like to add about metaverse. You mentioned that. Actually, we had an experience of our New Year party at our agency at Metaverse. It's called Spatial IO, and at this metaverse, we were trying to create some gamification, and I spoke at virtual room, around many our team members. It was very funny, but I think that it can be a future of social media because it's a mix of social media and real feeling of real life, but not right now because we can see that it's very difficult platform in terms of your computer powers. You need to have a very powerful computer and the very strong internet connection to feel this experience like it's a real life. Because if you don't have it, it's usually, for example, you can be kicked out from this space for some time, or it can be very slow for some moments.
Quality can freezing every time.
Quality can be lower. So for now, I think it's not ideal. It's not perfect for just usual usage, everyday usage. It's more like a wow effect for some, maybe, some events, for some presentations, but not for everyday usage. But social media is about usual everyday communication with people. So I think it's not the closest future, but maybe after a couple of years, we'll see that it's not so heavy system platform, which works best on different devices, including mobile devices. In this case, I think it's a great experience, and we loved it to be with each other because we have a remote team. And our team members are in different countries, in different cities. And we felt that we are together there. And if it goes smoothly in terms of internet connections and in terms of device power, it would be really great.
Thank you, Olga. Yes, there is another huge global debate about metaverse. Personally, I think maybe we are still in the first part of an innovation curve. So maybe there is a team of technology maturity or transformation, and so maybe we have to wait some more time. Also, because as you said, the everyday social media usage is not so immediate. And also there's a matter about technology adoption that is not so straightforward, especially for a small and medium enterprise. I know that big brands, fashion brands, luxury brands are still on metaverse and invested huge money. But if you are a very small company, maybe it's not so easy, first of all, to understand the reason why, and also to implement and to enter this new world. I would like to finish this interview. First of all, thanking all of you for your time and for your very insights, precious insights you shared with me and with our listeners and followers. And I would like
Thank you so much.
I would like to ask you if you want to cite your next event, your next LinkedIn event. Maybe then I'll add the registration link to the LinkedIn event when I'll publish this podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Leonardo, for this opportunity. This is a great initiative, and I would like to tell you about the future event. For now it's preliminary, but if you follow us on LinkedIn, Olga Bondareva and Ekaterina Altbregina, you will find the announcement very soon. It will be at the beginning of March. Yes.
Yeah. March. Yeah.
Yeah, preliminary March 1st, but I hope we will on time. And it will be about systematic social selling, how to build systematic process of social selling in a company. Because we work with different companies, and we can see that there is a request from the companies how to build a systematic process, and we'll give them the algorithm how to do it, and how to work with different levels of employees. For example, how to work with top managers, how to work with sellers, and how to work with heads of departments. And also, of course, we are waiting you as a speaker at our webinar, also to share your perspective of systematic social selling. Yeah, and we will invite one of our clients, a large fintech company, and their employees and our team representatives. They will share how together we build systematic social selling for them. And
a very good point to create. I mean. A system, or to try to systematize or to, let's say, engineer the process. Okay. So again, thank you, Olga, and thank you, Ekaterina. So I will, get you noticed about the next steps of this interview. So when this interview will be ready to go online, I'll send you all the references so you can, go and see. But in advance, I will send you the, recording of this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you again. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Evening. Yeah,
Have a good day. Bye-bye.